Omo, how far now waiting the up? I want us to talk about some latest updates concerning Nigerian footballers live here. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You are watching Sports Corner NG. Quickly, let's jump into it and begin with Victor Boniface. According to reports, he's on his way to AC Milan. Now, Bayer Leverkusen has made it clear to the player that he's going to get limited game time with the new coach Eric Ten Hag, and the player also wants regular playing time. Looking at the fact that Nigeria are going to play in the World Cup qualifiers and also in the AFCON this year, he wants to make sure to earn a spot on the Super Eagles team. But the only way he can do that is to get regular playing time. So the player was open to leaving the club. But what we hear is that AC Milan wants the player on loan with an option to buy. Now, these are the details with the loan. It is a loan with an option to buy, which has a package of between 30 to 35 million euros. The buy option is just under 30 million euros, but then there is no obligation to buy. So, Victor Boniface to AC Milan is almost done, and it will be exciting to see what the player can do with AC Milan. I'm just really happy for Victor Boniface. He just wants to play football. He wants to play regularly so he can earn a call up to the Super Eagles of Nigeria, because when it comes to the forward players of Nigeria, they have a lot. You have to earn regular playing time to be part of that squad. And I understand why Victor Boniface would be willing to make that move. But then, guys, this is the latest update concerning the player. It is a done deal between the clubs. It's just left with certain formalities to be completed. So Victor Boniface plays for AC Milan come next season on loan with an option to buy. Now let's move away from that and talk about Umar Sadiq. Umar Sadiq's situation is a bit dicey and also messy all at the same time. Ross Sociedad says the player is not part of their plans, but a lot of teams have come forward to sign the player. The player has rejected all those teams. Teams like Girona, Elche, Getafe have all brought offers suitable to Real Sociedad. The player says no, he's not going to that place. He only wants one team, which is Valencia, where he played on loan last season. That is the only team the player wants. He is even willing to take a pay cut of 30% to even play for Valencia. And currently, the situation is so messy. Real Sociedad are furious because the amount of money they want for the player, the teams that have come forward are offering that, but Valencia is not willing to offer that. And they want as much as they can get for the player, but the player is not budging. He wants to go to Valencia at all costs. He does not want to go to Girona, not Elche, not Getafe, but then Valencia. So still, Omar Sadiq is still in a limbo as things stands now. I just hope this can be resolved as quickly as possible. But currently, this is his situation. He's willing to take a pay cut of 30% to join Valencia. Let me know what you think about it down below in the comments. Do you think it's a good move or a bad move? Now let's move away from Umar Sadiq and talk about Ademola Lookman. Ademola Lookman also has a very dicey and messy situation with Atalanta. At a point, he decided not to train because he told Atalanta that he had an agreement with the club and the club did not honor that agreement. He wanted to go to Inter Milan at all costs. Inter Milan, during the past few days, they made an offer to Atalanta. Atalanta rejected it. They told Inter Milan that the offer was too small, and Atalanta themselves don't want to sell the player to a club in Italy. They want to sell the player to a club outside Italy. Now, Arsenal are no longer looking for Ademola Lookman or no longer looking in the direction of Lookman because Trossard has renewed his contract and they're also going for Eze. So you get why Arsenal might not be looking in the direction anymore for Lookman. But Lookman still has a contract with Atalanta. That means he needs to return to the club and fulfill that aspect of the contract to play football, to train with the team, and whatever it has to do with Ademola Lookman. But then the situation is that he's currently in Bergamo, but not training with the team. He's training individually and has been separated from the main team until September. Yes, guys, this is the situation. I mean, this is what is happening to Ademola Lookman. It's sad. I would have wished for the player to leave the club, but things are becoming very messy with the player. I just hope that this can be resolved before the transfer window closes. At least he goes to a club where he wants to go to and plays football, because currently Arsenal are off the books, but there are other clubs who are seriously interested in him still, especially clubs in England. Clubs like West Ham, Manchester United have also shown interest in Ademola Lookman, but currently he's in Bergamo. He's not part of the main squad. He's training individually. He has returned to Atalanta to fulfill his contract because he's still under contract. Look, whatever you do, whether you are not going to play, whatever, don't forget you are still under contract. You still need to return to the club, and that is the situation with Ademola Lookman after his move to Inter Milan collapsed. Now let's talk about Tolu Arokodare. I'm really excited about this. Now this is very simple. Let me make this very quickly. Tolu Arokodare performed extremely well for Genk last season, becoming the top goal scorer, winning the Ebony Shoe Award for one of the African best players in the league, scoring 23 goals, providing 7 assists across all competition for Genk. I mean, he did extremely well. Now, Genk are looking for 25 million euros total package for any team interested in Tolu Arokodare. And currently, Napoli is in talks with Genk for Tolu Arokodare, and they see him as a short-term replacement for Romelu Lukaku. Now, Lukaku is injured, and Lukaku is not undergoing surgery, so he is going to return between 3 to 4 months. But they need a player who can still give them equally what Lukaku is going to give them if he was fit. And Tolu Alukodare is on top of that list. He is very much on top of that list. And guys, this is the situation with Tolu Alukodare. I'm really happy for him. I think Napoli would be a very good place for him. But also, we are not forgetting what Napoli did to Victor Osimhen. I mean, they are really stubborn when it comes to dealing with player transfer. But then, nevertheless, I think Tolu Arokodare is going to be a very good player for them. He might not get regular playing time if Lukaku is back, but if he performs very well in his absence, trust me, he could be a very valuable player for Napoli, probably coming off the bench, playing very well, and even gives him a taste of playing in the UCL. So I think this is a win-win situation for Tolu Arokodare to play for Napoli. I'm truly excited about the possibility of him playing, but then I'm still keeping it in my head what Napoli did to Victor Osimhen. Lastly, let's talk about Eze to Arsenal. I think Arsenal fans are really excited. I'm going to say this. Arsenal's work rate in the transfer market is crazy. Like, they get things done as quickly as possible. And so far, they have signed 7 players, 7 excellent players. If Ateta does not win the league, I think at this point, Ateta needs to be sacked, because currently you have the best of the best in your squad. They were lucky to have won that game against Manchester United. Now they have Eberechi Eze in their team. And I'm looking at the squad, looking at the players I've signed, looking at the squad depth. They have to win at least either the EPL or the UCL, because adding Eze to your team is adding more quality. You know what Eze can do on the left. You understand? And you have squad depth. Look at that team. We know Kai Havertz is injured, but come on, look at the Arsenal team. You have Gyökeres, you have Eze, you have Zubimendi, you have Martinelli, you have Saka, you have Odegaard. What else do you need? What else do you need? Arsenal has everything. Looking at the addition of Eze makes it a complete team for me, makes it a team capable of competing at all fronts, be it the UCL, be it in the EPL, they can compete. But if Mikel Arteta does not win anything this season, he needs to be sacked. You and I would agree on that. I mean, as simple as that, but I'm really happy for Eze. I'm sad he did not go to Tottenham, because I would have loved for him to join Tottenham, because Tottenham, for me, are the dark horses this season. They are going to worry a lot of teams. Looking at the players they have also signed, they are going to worry a lot of teams, and I'm just so sad for them, because ever since Madison got injured, it has been very difficult for them to sign the player to replace him, because looking at the player they went at first, Eze, it did not work. You also try to sign Savino, it's also becoming a bit difficult. So I understand from a Tottenham standpoint why this is becoming a bit, difficult for them. But regardless of the facts, Arsenal are doing some good business in the transfer market. And Eze is a Nigerian, is of Nigerian descent. So I'm just happy all this is happening all at once. But then, guys, things are happening in the world of football that has to do with Nigerian players. Let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. This is why I'm going to draw the curtains. Let me know your thoughts about all what was talked about in today's video. Victor Boniface to AC Milan on loan with an option to buy. Umar Sadiq rejecting offers from Girona, Elche, and also Getafe. He only wants Valencia. Ademola Lookman has returned to Bergamo with Atalanta but training individual. And also Tolu Arokodare to Napoli. Talks have already begun. Let me know your thoughts about all this down below in the comments. Thanks for joining me. My name is Adam. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, you go vibe.